Alright, hey everybody. I am driving over the Blair Bridge right now in Blair, Nebraska, on the way over towards Missouri Valley or DeSoto Bend if you know the area. And I came over this morning about 7 a.m. and saw some of the devastation, and I just can't believe, all the stuff that's out here, because you haven't really read about most of this stuff. You've read about the Fort Calhoun, although they call it the Fort Calhoun nuclear power plant, even though it's right over there. There's the Missouri, and it's about a mile away from Blair and about 7 from Fort Calhoun. So if somebody can explain me why they call that the Fort Calhoun nuclear power plant, that'd be great. But as you cross into Iowa, as you can see, there is flooding as far as the eye can see. And I have not seen pictures of this. I have heard about Fort Calhoun nuclear power plant and how there's a little bit of flooding on the river, but we are literally talking 5-6 miles in some places, maybe more closer to 4, but there's also flooding on the Nebraska side as well. But I just wanted to kind of show you the drive here over, and as you can see, it's a flippin' lake, man. There's off in the distance back there is the power plant. You can see it from here. That's actually on the other side of the river, on the high side, so it's not getting hit nearly as bad as this, but they're actually closing that road. They may have just closed it behind me. I'm going to have to drive all the way down to Omaha, 20 miles to get back across that bridge because they're about to close it. But as you can see, it's just, both sides, it's harder to tell on this side here, but water is coming up to the road on both sides, which is of course why they're closing this. And I'm sorry if this is bumpy for everyone, but I wanted people to be able to see this, because I haven't seen pictures of this. I'm from Blair and I live in Florida now, and I've seen some things. I've seen about downtown Omaha. I've seen some things in Blair, just knowing some of my family friends that have had to move out of their house because their house is flooded down on on the Nebraska side. But this is just blows me away. Look at this. I don't know. I can't believe I haven't seen pictures of this on any sort of news reports at all. This is pretty amazing. So this is coming up on the DeSoto Bend National Refuge. So we got this guy who's decided he wants to pull over. Awesome. Yeah. God, look at that. All those houses. So for those of you who don't know, I've heard from my friends, it sounds like they're not gonna be allowed back in their houses till at least September 1st. They're saying probably closer to the middle of October, because that's how long this water is going to stay up this high, until October. And today is what, June 29th. So June 29th to the middle of October, and that's Army Corps of Engineers guess. So you can probably bet that it's probably going to be like next June, because they're not great at predicting things or controlling rivers. Although there's not a whole lot you can do about this much water. It's amazing is what it is, really, but just really sad. So much farmland that'll be gone. And it's obviously like this all the way up and down the river. But again, it's 2 feet deep this whole way, and we're already a couple miles from the river. I'm going 60 miles an hour, so you can imagine, for how far we've been driving. There's a cop. Getting close to the road. Well, anyway, it still goes back over there, but not close to the road here. And I'm going to try and get back across the bridge before they close it, because they're closing it at 8:30, and it is currently 8:25. So, anyway, say some prayers for people that are in bad situations right now, and thanks for watching. So here again, actually we're coming back towards Blair now, and you can see the bluff in the background. That's like the other side of the river there. So that's why Nebraska does better than Iowa in most areas when it comes to flooding, is just because we sit on the high side, for the most part, and so we're on the bluff side there, which you can see it back in the distance, and then this is the low side, which again is why Iowa seems to struggle quite a bit more than Nebraska when it comes to this. So you can see a lot of trucks are trying to get across the bridge and stuff too, because they're closing it now any second. Cop behind me, actually, I think I may have, there aren't any cars behind me anymore, so I may have been the last car to get through, which is too bad. But man, I wish I could zoom with this thing. So there's Cargill over there, and then down there you can kind of maybe see a few lights. Might be a little bit harder on this camera. I know this is just a digital camera I'm using to film video. Don't have a nice camera, but down there is where you can see the nuclear power plant, and we're about a quarter mile from the river. But new Lake Iowa, I guess, I don't know, like Lake DeSoto. Actually, there already is a Lake DeSoto. So we are coming back to the Nebraska side now, which is, here's the Blair Bridge. Maybe you can see a friend or family member's name signed on one of these bridges. But yep, there's the river up to the north, and you can kind of see, not too well. Okay, so I'm back in Blair now, heading north, just a couple miles from the river, to the east, if you know the Missouri. Again, heading north in Blair, and as you can see as we're coming up down here, this is what people in Blair call the bottoms, the flats, whatever you may call it, just north of Blair. So like, kind of the city ends really right here, but as you can see, it doesn't matter because everything ends right here, because it all just turns into one vast ocean. So again, I don't know if you can tell if this thing zooms in far enough, but the road is closed here all the way out there, and then a lot of farms would be out here normally too. Pretty bright. So now we're back in Blair. We're on top of what's called Ridgeview Park in Blair, and as you can see, this is more of the flooding, which again looks like an ocean. The river, for just kind of an idea, is if you can see those top trees at the very back there, the river is on the other side of those trees. They're supposed to be. So a couple miles away there. But yeah, you can see down here we got the retirement home and some apartments down here, and then those groups of trees out there are all farms. And Brad, it looks like your house is still dry, so I think you're still good. But again, as you can see, it's just all in trouble. So this whole, what I'm standing on here is kind of a big bluff, a big ridge. As you can see, the houses over here sit on top of this ridge. So luckily I live on the other side, so we'll be safe. But again, it's doing this on both sides. This is right across the river from what I just drove, and so you can just see on both sides. It's miles wide, miles and miles wide of foot, 2 feet, 3 feet deep water, you know, depending. So it's really sad, but pretty amazing. Think about it. So.